attending the funeral of someone you love. This was the funeral of my wife, one of many wives. I'm telling you this because she is one of my fondest memories. Where humans are concerned, love is the only law, and that's coming from a man who has literally seen everything. She was a healthy 146 when she died. Yeah, science never came up with a solution for falling off a cliff. A man next to me utters the usual refrain. She was a fine woman. My thoughts and prayers are with you. Humanity went through many changes, but in terms of death speech, we were always predictable, right up until the last human took his final breath. The year of my wife's funeral, I was technically 387 years old, which made me a baby in relative terms. Those days, they only used aquamation, dissolving bodies in water. Basic stuff, it would turn out. The universe would disappear one day, and I'll be there. But I guess you want to know how it got to that point. I was born on January 1st, 2000. I have no idea who my parents were, since the story I've been told is that I was found by 3 hikers on a hilltop wrapped in a blanket of fur that was slightly lit by the North Star. I went into foster care, but around the age of 18, I told my foster parents I wanted to travel the world. I got to the age of around 35, and I think that's about the time I stopped aging. When I hit 45, people would say to me, "Ooh, you look so good for your age." When I hit 55, things got really weird. I had to start telling everyone I was taking supplements, and in the end, I just left the country, not wanting to become a scientific research project. The good thing was that I was almost constantly on the move, and seemed to be good at everything I did. My first life was easy. I had a natural aptitude for everything. And when I say natural, I mean I could do anything I wanted. Back when humanity was still here, and in its early stages, I was a doctor, a professional rugby player in New Zealand, a Martian virologist, a British biologist who spent most of his time studying fleas, a very successful autonomous flying vehicle salesman, and a fairground puppeteer in New Hampshire. Oh, and I can't mention all the jobs. There were lots of them before work became almost obsolete. I had as much money as I needed, when we still used money, of course. Although it was sometimes difficult keeping my identity hidden when banking the stuff, when we still had banks. Banks we would later say were from the second dark age. You're probably wondering how I managed to not have an accident and maybe get all chewed up. Well, back before we started eating only lab-made artificial meat, I fell into an industrial meat grinder. I'll take that as my best death ever. I loved that job too. Being an expert in every lifetime gets boring after a while, so I was sausage meat. Don't ask me how it happens, but after every death I would just wake up in some place in this same body. One body could die, but another would appear. I'd look in the mirror and I was the same man. I had a soul, and it seemed I was immortal. I kind of liked the days when accidents were common. It made life more fun. But once humans stopped working and using machines to do all the work, people didn't have many accidents. But like I said, one of my wives fell off a cliff. May she rest in peace. She was the only one I stayed with until the end, because I told her my secret. The rest I left after a few years. That wasn't always easy, I can tell you. Okay, so let me take you through the first chapter of my life, the short period of about 500 years. It'll have to be an abridged version, because I'm pretty sure you don't need to know about all my personal romances, achievements, and so on. This story is about you guys, not about me. And all I'll say is after 100 or so funerals, it doesn't get any easier. Love is infinite, and listen to me when I tell you, it is the greatest thing in the universe. You guys actually figured that out for a while after the great machine occupation and ensuing war, when you finally did away with class oppression. Hundreds of years before the war, you guys got pretty good at creating artificial intelligence, and this meant a lot of you had no jobs to do. But the problem was, this created inequality like the world had never seen. And this started around the 2050s. Before you start thinking that we could replicate human brains in robots that were just like us, stop, because we never could. There is something in all of you that cannot be replicated. It was the great mystery for science of all ilk, and that was what is consciousness. What makes you, you. It's your soul, and when you die, it doesn't mean that you get to become a ghost and start moving around household objects just to scare American families to death. It just means your presence. You've been left behind. Kind of an after effect, but something that now has no thoughts of its own. You become part of everything. Just as that Dutch philosopher Baruch Spinoza said, when he wasn't grinding those lenses of his. You have a soul, and we are all connected. That's why, my friends, that love is the law. Don't you ever forget it. Anyway, enough with the lecturing. So in the early 3rd millennium, we started using some world-changing technologies. We used these to create robots that did most of the work for us. They were not at first that intelligent, so no, they did not sit down with you and chat about your ongoing agony regarding your sense of futility. They were like Alexa, but with better answers. They did all the hard work, and partly because of this, we had less to do. At first, there was been so superficial.
That was followed by stage 4, a rush of epiphanies.
I don't need food. Look at this, architecture's everywhere. Spaniards make amazing athletes.
Into stage 5, despair.
Daddy, we hid it, but you didn't see.
Cam. Then came rage.
Ow!
Hey, what you got there? The good news is, Cam's never made it this far into a diet before, so... Downside, I have no idea what the next stage is gonna be. But I'm pretty sure it's not charming party guest. I was thinking, I'll take the bullet tomorrow night at my boss's house. You don't have to go to the party. They're boring. Silly cause, lots of people. Parking. Cam, say something.
Why do you hate me?
I don't hate you.
Then why are you trying to push me out of your life?
Because you seem a little... unhinged.
Okay, well, you know what? I think you should worry a little bit less about me and a little bit more about yourself and what you're going to wear tomorrow night, because I saw what you have laid out, and I don't think you're going to like the way you look in photos.
Well, I hadn't landed on that.
Her hands in the air like every 5 seconds, and she actually reminded Mr. Waters to assign homework. The class loved that. Do you know how embarrassed I was? Not as embarrassed as I was when she said 8 was a prime number. 8, Mom.
Okay, fine. You know what? I'm gonna call the school today and have your schedules changed, but I want you to know a little part of me died today, okay? I thought the two of you could understand how being in the same class would benefit you both. Alex, you could have tutored Haley. Haley, you could have helped Alex with her social skills. Come on, the two of you could have been two super Dunphys, and instead, what are you? Two bickering half Dunphys, and I'm the fool that expected more.
You know what? You sugar.
No, I don't want to hear it. Just go upstairs. Go.
Wow. What was that?
That was a masterclass in parenting. Right now, our daughters are upstairs making a decision they think is their own, but really it was an idea that was skillfully implanted in me.
Inception, Claire. Dangerous game, but I like it.
What are those?
Wire walkers. You want to go to the dance? You gotta wear the shoes. Luke, grab your camera. Luke.
I was just sleeping. Honey, I think those are jazz shoes.
Nope. Tightrope shoes. Got them in an estate sale. Only worn once.
That is not a ringing endorsement. Sit down. Phil, honey, please speak. Right. Watch the door.
Hey, what'd you get for number 3? You're not going to learn if I just give you answers.
Well, what if I gave you something in return?
Like what?
You can talk to me in class.
I want lunch at the cool table.
Then I want all the answers.
Then I want a week at the table.
That'll cost you 2 pop quizzes.
A month.
The midterm.
Deal. Looking great, Dad.
With these steps, I break the surly bonds. Chicken in the basket! Don't look at me.
Mom!
What?
Mom! Did you call the school yet?
Not yet, but I was just about to.
Boils and Jake!
Good, because we are thinking we might want to stay in that class.
Really? Oh, girls, I don't know
Oh,
about
please
that.
let us try it. Super Dumpy.
I can't hold her! I can't hold her!
Well, maybe one more week.
Thanks, Mom.
I don't know, a cup of soup, a cup of salad. Yeah, I have bacon. And I don't have all day to describe all my meals to you. Stop eating on my things, you stupid animal. No, Cam, not you. I'll call you back. Bad doggy. You want to join something? Okay. Look at that. Look at this delicious manchu. Eat it. Come on. Eat it. Eat it. Mmm, yummy.
Mom?
Hello? Hi, Mrs. Dunphy. This is Rose from the principal's office. Could you hold for Principal Weller? Yes!
Hi, Claire.
Hi, John. What'd you do this time?
Actually, I've got both of them here.
Both of them? Really?
Alex.
It's gonna be a crazy fight. Yeah, get some meds first. Luckily I have 2 medkits for this one. I know. What just happened? But I literally sat there for like 2 seconds, walked one more time, and then this is all I hear in the middle. Like, what the frick?